Shalom, shalom. How y'all doing? Y'all know how I do. Since I got a little break at work, why not get in those scripts? We're going to go through a Wisdom of Solomon today and see how the exegete of Solomon was used with like Daniel and etc. Or vice versa. I might have said it backwards. But anyway, Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hands of God, and no torment will ever touch them. In the eyes of the foolish they seem to have died, and their departure was thought to be a disaster, and their going from us to be their destruction. But they are at peace, for though in the sight of others they were punished, their hope is full of immortality. Having been disciplined a little, they will receive great good, because God tested them and found them worthy of himself. Like gold in the furnace, he tried them, and like a sacrificial burnt offering, he accepted them. Now let's look at some of the time of trouble spoken of in Daniel 11. Daniel 11:33. The wise among the people shall give understanding to many for some days. However, they shall fall by sword and flame and suffer captivity and plunder. So you see how the wise of Israel, how they was going to suffer these negative things in the sight of men. But anyway, let's keep going. Verse 34. When they fall victim, they shall receive a little help, and many shall join them insincerely. Some of the wise shall fall, so that they may be refined, purified, and cleansed until the time of the end, for there is still an interval until the time appointed. So you can see how this destruction of these individuals seemed like that it was for, not actually seemed like, it really was for the purification of their souls. So we see the Wisdom of Solomon is saying that through that little discipline that they was going through, they will receive great good, because God tested them and found them worthy of himself. So that test was for the show that these individuals will be worthy of what God had in store for them. So the Wisdom of Solomon 3, let's go to verse 7 then. In the time of their visitation, they will shine forth and will run like sparks through the stubble. Daniel 12:1. At that time, Michael, the great prince, the protector of your people, shall arise. There shall be a time of anguish such as has never occurred since nations first came into existence. But at that time, your people shall be delivered, everyone who is found written in the book. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky, and those who led many to righteousness like the stars forever. Now, Wisdom of Solomon 3, verse number 8. Right before I say that, we can see how the reward of these individuals not losing the faith, and even though they seem to be destroyed in the sight of men, we see the reward that since they passed through their trials, now they receive this glow, this brightness, this shine. And let's see what the Wisdom of Solomon said this means. Wisdom of Solomon 3:8. They will govern nations and rule over peoples, and the Lord will reign over them forever. Those who trust in him will understand truth, and the faithful will abide with him in love, because grace and mercy are upon his holy ones, and he watches over his elect. So we can clearly see that the foolish think when the wise are destroyed through these destructive means of persecution and etc., that they're actually being punished. But it's the Lord refining them, purifying them to be an acceptable sacrifice and offering unto himself. And he will then indeed give them placement over the nations. So this is something spiritual. This is something that's happening in the spiritual realm. Now, the people that's being persecuted in this realm, they get that rule and reign through Christ also. But for the people who died and was persecuted and etc., they get this reign in the spiritual realm where life immortality, life immortal is found. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm stumbling over my words, but you get what I'm saying. So that's just a little breakdown of how the Bible works and how it was looking at spiritual gifts and spiritual rewards also. Subscribe to the channel.